3HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay, broadcasting live from Radio Row in New Orleans. Our Radio Row coverage is brought to you by Low T Center and Rude, who is proud to partner locally with Roscoe Brown. Speaking of Low T Center, Synergen X and Low T Center bringing their expertise in testosterone therapy. SynergenX.com, lowtcenter.com. Brian Baldinger is with us now. Baldy, what's up? How are you?
Well, I'm doing great. It's good to be here. Super Bowl week. I mean, I don't know about all of you, but this is my finish line. I'm looking forward to the game and breaking it down on Monday and going on vacation on Tuesday. So, I enjoy the finish line.
We enjoy Baldy's breakdowns on
you.
social media. How much fun are you having with that? And, what was kind of the genesis of the idea there?
I thought the genesis was I used to do this show called The Aftermath for the NFL Network.
Yeah.
And I was doing college football then and NFL games. I was doing both. And I would get into Los Angeles to do this show on Sunday night. And the show would start around noon, but I would try to get in the film room as early as possible to watch as much as I could before we did the show. And I started posting some little clips of something I would see that would catch my eye during that time. It was 2017, and it just caught on. And the more I did it, the more people responded to it. And so I thought, I didn't know it was going to be a thing right away, but within a year, especially when players started coming back at me and coaches and kids, I knew it was connecting. So the more good feedback I got, the more I wanted to do it.
How do you fix the right side of the Titans' offensive line? Was that challenging to break down some of that stuff?
Yeah, it was. It was. Look, the left side, there's a reason why those guys are first-round picks. Yeah. And Tony Pollard was running left, and the big runs and all the good stuff came to the left. But, look, you got Bill Callahan there. I mean, he's I remember when I was in Philly when Billy came, out of Wisconsin. And I was just kind of exiting my career in '95 when he came with Ray Rhodes. And everywhere he's gone, he's built an offensive line. Mm-hmm. And I trust Bill. You can see what happened to Cleveland this year when he left. You can look what happened to every team that Bill Callahan left from and what happened to their line. They went down. So I trust Bill to be able to fix it right now.
They need some pieces too, obviously.
Pieces.
But at some point you got to have the player to be able to fix it too. But how about something positive? It's been a long season for us Titans fans here in Nashville. There wasn't a ton of positive to break down. Will Levis was quite a disaster. So give us a positive breakdown.
This is easy. Okay. I mean, T-Pain was one of my favorite. Tavondre Sweat was one of my favorite players to break down all year. I just loved, first of all, he played a lot of plays, and he's a good player. But a guy with that size, playing next to Simmons inside, I thought that was pretty special. And he had a lot of good games this year. He gave a lot of people fits. Yeah. He covered some ground. He got off blocks. He had that big man thing going on inside there, I liked watching Tavondre play, man. Now, I hope he could keep his weight, under control whenever. Yeah. That's the challenge. But I thought he was everything they said he could be at Texas and more. I thought he was a good player at Texas, Byron Murphy. There were some guys there on that line, but I thought he exceeded my expectations.
Growth potential for him, too? Have you seen that in the
film?
Well,
even in this game right here, the Super Bowl game, you still want to be able to stop the run the ball. Those basics really don't change. And, he eats up a lot of space inside. You want to be a good linebacker, you better have somebody that's protecting you up front. And he has that ability to do it. So, and then the thing that they saw from him, as opposed to just a two-down player, is he's got some pass rush to him. And he can collapse a pocket. And that's what differentiated him from a lot of other defensive tackles in the league. And the thing, if you look at a guy like, say, Dexter Lawrence, who's had 2 great years back-to-back. He got hurt this year, but still, he was just a big guy for the first 3 years of his career. And he didn't do much. But he said he had to really fight through to create the endurance to be able to stay on the field without just kind of going through the motions. I thought he played at a high level, and he was playing 70% of the snaps. Yeah. So to play at a high level and that percentage of snaps at that weight is unusual, and he did that.
Which I think is more than they expected, honestly.
Yeah, no question.
Coming in. That was a big conversation point with him.
How big is the gap when you start looking at these guys at D-tackle, between a guy like Chris Jones, Dexter Lawrence, Jeff Simmons, and the bottoms of guys trying to grab a hold of that top 10 as far as defensive tackles go, like a T. Sweat.
Well, he's got to produce more in the passing game, But Jalen Carter made a huge jump.
Yep.
First year to second year.
Yep.
He played the highest percentage of snaps of any defensive tackle I saw.
Right.
I don't have the stats in front of me,
Right.
but he's playing over 90% of the snaps. They didn't take him off the field some games.
Right.
Now you don't have to do that to Tavondre, but I think that he could climb. Can he get to the top 10 spot? I think it's possible. I think it's possible.
Yeah.
But you're going to have more quarterback pressure. You're going to have to beat one-on-ones, beat double teams. But Simmons is going to take a lot of that from you.
Yep.
So you get the one-on-ones, you got to win a higher percentage than he did.
Great.
Brian Baldinger with us on 3HL. You mentioned the left side, the 2 first-rounders. What did you think about J.C. Latham this year? Kind of an up-and-down deal, but definitely showed some ceiling there.
He showed some vulnerability in his pass sets. Mm-hmm. He was beaten probably more than he wanted to, but that's a learning curve. I think that what you're looking for is consistency, where you're not great this Sunday and you're struggling this Sunday, or you're great against this B player and not very good against this A player. Like, you got to get to the point, like Jordan Mailata did, where you're good against everybody and you're consistent. It starts with your set. The power in the run game is there. Him and Skoronski, you can see the movement, at the point. But you also have to learn the guy next to you. There's a lot there. And then you're playing from behind. You're playing with a quarterback that's just schizo. The loss to Chicago, the loss to the Jets. You don't want to hear this stuff. Yeah. But, that stuff doesn't help your left tackle when you don't know what the quarterback is doing.
Yeah.
That's just, you kind of want to know. If you're Lamar Jackson, great. All right? But you know that. If you're Jared Goff, you're Jared Goff, and you know that. It's kind of makes it a little bit. Look, even in Philadelphia, where I know those guys really good up front, they're not always happy with Jalen Hurts when he's holding it for 5 seconds or 6 seconds. You kind of want the quarterback to be in a rhythm and getting the ball out. And you want to have that rhythm in your head. That can help everybody up front.
Brian Baldinger with us, the brand's 2 great options. Low T Center, where it all started, expert men's health care in a place where guys feel at home, and Synergen X Clinics, big, bright, modern, with emphasis on VIP treatment for men and women. SynergenX.com, lowtcenter.com. Baldy, good to see you, man. Always enjoy the breakdowns, brother.
Pleasure. You're going to keep them coming.
There he is, Brian Baldinger, 3HL, 104.5 The Zone.